The season of spooks has found its return, and a murderous mystery makes a village upturn. Each night for a fortnight one citizen dies. Yet who does the killing, they can't theorize. Through chance a quartet of heroes arrive. Can they find the one who is taking these lives?
Joan, Ryder, Seebo, and Dracarys are journeying on various missions for King Ezra and have come across a small village set near the northern edge of the White Timber Forest. As they approach the village, a man runs out to them and quickly introduces himself as Mayor Dan. And he says, "Greetings, adventurers. You seem to be men that can handle a sword."
Well, in my case it's daggers, but yeah.
In a manner of speaking, I suppose, but like him, not exactly.
If there's cash involved, maybe.
I need sell my services with sword work.
We've been having terrible trouble here. Every night, townsfolk keep ending up dead, and we can't seem to figure out who's been killing them.
Do you think maybe it's like a werewolf?
I have no idea. It's just... We're at a complete loss here. Do you think that there's any way you could help us?
Well,
anything we can do.
Of course, good sir.
Could you show us possibly the most recent attack?
Yes, that would be very kind information to have, good sir.
He looks up at the sky and sees that the sun is starting to come down pretty low to the horizon and says, "Well, it shouldn't be long until you see the remains of another attack."
I think
Excuse
we'll join
me.
the night watch.
Wait, okay. Mr. What was it, Mayor Dan?
Yes, sir.
A little more information real quick. You're saying that the sun is now setting, so that means that soon the moon will arise, and then spooky shit will happen.
Correct, yes. Every night someone is murdered. It's been going on for nearly 2 weeks now.
Oh boy, you people. I thought I was cursed. Alright, everybody into the town.
At least 14 dead.
12 to be precise. It hasn't been quite 2 weeks yet.
So, a monster has been rampaging through your town for at least 12 nights, and you have yet to call the proper authorities.
We've notified authorities. They've come and left. Our local sheriff has been investigating, but so far no leads at all. There seems to be no culprits that we can find.
Are there no remains then? And I would note at this point I think we're all walking into the town.
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, there's plenty of remains, but no suspects.
But no evidence.
There's
Please.
nothing that we can find.
If we could simply investigate some of these remains.
As you have approached the town, the last rays of sunlight are just streaming down the center main street, and from somewhere off in the distance you hear a woman scream. And the mayor says, "It appears the killer has struck early today."
Jonah's already taken out his revolver and, done the whole, loaded it up.
And Seebo is already running towards the scream.
Oh yeah, same.
Same for Dracarys as well.
Alright, you all wind through a couple of streets and come up into an alleyway where a man is standing. He appears to be probably about in his early 50s. He's wearing the uniform that clearly identifies him as the sheriff, and he has his hands on his hips, and he's just shaking his head. Another one lost.
Are you the sheriff?
How long has it been since the scream?
Like 3 minutes.
Okay.
How tall are the buildings around us?
1 and 2 story, kind of scattered throughout.
Okay.
This town is
Peaked roofs.
made up. This town is made up of mostly smaller buildings. Like I said, 1 or 2 stories, either like wood or like a simple kind of mud brick.
So they're not like super strong, like they're for standing. What I'm thinking about doing is going to one of the roofs and looking around to see if I can see the suspect fleeing.
Yeah, you could get up on the roof.
Okay.
I mean, you're not going to be able to, like, run around on the roofs, but it would support your weight if you're just standing there.
Okay, so Joan is going to look at a nearby roof, but one that ideally would have, like, a good vantage around, so a 2-story location, and use Misty Step to get up there ASAP.
Yeah, you select a suitable building that has, we'll say this building is made out of that mud brick material and also appears to have a pretty sturdy wooden roof on it. You think that it'll support your weight, and you go ahead and do Misty Step. Just do an athletics check for me.
Okay.
Just to see if you can keep your footing on this rooftop once you...
Would that be acrobatics?
No, I'm going to go with athletics for this one.
17.
You're able to sort of displace your weight in a way that keeps you on the... you're on the roof and, you feel the boards kind of creak underneath you, but they hold your weight.
Okay, and then I'd like to look around and see if I can... see anybody fleeing the area.
Okay, go ahead and do a perception check.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was perception or investigation, but here we go. That's a 15.
You can see a lot of townspeople around that are in various modes. Some of them are running towards the scream. Some of them are running away in a sense, like, they're like, going into their houses, boarding up their windows, that kind of thing.
Because they don't want to be next.
Right. But you do not see anybody that you immediately identify as, like, fleeing the crime scene.
Or being sus.
Yeah.
Can I do an investigation check on the body?
Yeah.
18.
As you go to walk up to the body, the sheriff says, "What do you think you're doing, disturbing my crime scene?"
Excuse me, we have been commissioned to figure out what's going on because of your incompetence.
Yeah.
So if you'll get out of the way, I would like to do my job.
My incompetence? Listen, I'm the sheriff here.
Dracarys?
Mr. Sheriff.
restrain him.
Mr. Sheriff, Dracarys, please.
I
Mr.
don't recall being your order around. I would like to know, though, are there any new travelers that have come through town in the last 2 weeks?
Just you.
Well, you seem rather gruff this morning. You missed your coffee.
At this point, Joan has Misty stepped back down.
Okay. The mayor says, "Greg, I've asked them to help us. Listen, let them investigate the crime scene. Maybe a fresh set of eyes can, be shed some light on what's going on."
People would also like to investigate.
All right. He says, "Fine, but I'm going to watch them closely." And he takes a step back.
22.
Okay. So, Seebo and Ryder, you both kneel next to this body, and it's pretty grisly. Appears to be a man in his mid-30s. He's laying on the ground with his arms and legs kind of splayed out, and his chest has been just completely caved in.
Is it so only the chest cavity was caved in and eaten out, kinda?
Not eaten out. It looks like, just like by way of comparison, it almost looks like somebody like threw a boulder at his chest.
Large blunt force
And-
impact.
Yes.
Are all his organs there?
Yeah, as far as you can tell, everything is, I mean, it's a bit of a mess, but as far as you can tell, nothing has been removed.
So it was not a robbery.
Hmm.
And that's all you see from the body itself.
What about around the body? Any like weird footprints, or is this place well traveled? Are there a lot of footprints around? Tell me.
Go ahead and do an investigation check.
I already did an investigation.
You never gave him any questions on the body. He can ask that. Come on.
I mean, I was kind of answering for both of you, but I mean, if you have more questions about the body, you can ask.
I'll roll another investigation check of stuff around the body then. I see nothing.
Well, it seems as though this man was simply brutally murdered. Nothing taken from his possessions, and it doesn't seem like some kind of sacrificial kill. Nothing is missing of his body.
Doesn't look like anything decided to pop out of him. It looks like something was forcefully thrown into him.
Yes, I would agree.
Almost like a random attack.
Yes, as though we have a serial killer on our hands.
But a serial killer usually is a bit more, drawn out. I don't know why I know so much about psychology.
You see, whoever this is, or whatever this is, it obviously strikes only at night. I wonder if perhaps it's somehow linked to the night itself.
Seebo, I appear to have some sand in my eyes. Is there any way that you could look around the crime scene to see if there's anything else there?
22.
Unfortunately, the combination of the fact that this appears to be more or less well-traveled and the fact that Sheriff Gregg is not particularly good about crime scene control, there's been several people that have walked through here, so gathering any tracks is going to be pretty dicey at this point. However, you do find on the ground, about a foot or two away from the body, sort of partially buried in the dust of the ground, a burlap sack that says sugar on it, and then it's stamped with a circle with a P in the middle.
What's this now?
What you got there, Seebo?
It's some kind of burlap sack of a kind, and it says sugar and has some kind of a stamp on it.
Congratulations, genius. You found a bag from the general store.
Well, yes, okay. What is this stamp here, this symbol?
Well, that'd be a P. It's for Pete's General Store. It's the only real store here in town.
Perhaps there was...
Would you take us to Pete?
Well, I mean, I guess a bag of sugar could be a murder weapon.
That's what I'm thinking.
Thrown with enough force?
Perhaps the sugar was still in the bag or something else.
Seebo
was
is
put
going
into
to
the bag.
walk over to the corpse, shove his finger in it, and take a lick.
CSI.
Do a Constitution check for me.
Seebo, that is disgusting.
What in tarnation?
14.
Okay. Yeah, it tastes like blood. You're able to keep from throwing up, but it just basically
Seebo's
tastes...
had a lot of blood in his mouth at different times. And
tastes like
cut
blood.
people's throats.
There's a little bit of stomach bile mixed in there from, the organs getting splattered.
No sugar taste.
I mean, nothing other than that sort of sickly sweetness of blood.
And he doesn't, and I guess rolling another investigation, he doesn't notice anything around the crime scene, that being an 18, or any sugar, white dust, powder.
Yeah, believe it or not, the man had an 8-ball in his pocket.
Seebo will take that?
No, he does not. I mean, there's a little bit on the ground by where the bag was.
That's it.
But that's it. You don't see...
And
So, okay, I'll put it this... You find a little bit on the guy as well, but not like a ton. You know what I mean? Like, there's like...
But there is some on his person.
The whole area. Like I said, this bag was only a couple feet away from him.
And
so
the
it's
way
kind
that
of all over.
the way that he's positioned, he's on his back, correct?
Correct, he's laying on his back.
If he's on his back this way, is the bag of sugar then over here, or is it then over here? Is it by his feet or his head?
The bag is off of, like, his right arm.
Okay. Well, I can say definitively that is his organs and blood, and it does not taste sweet. However, there's sugar on his person, and there's sugar around the crime scene. Thus, I believe the sugar may possibly have been our murder weapon.
Ryder claps.
Thank you, good sir.
Death by sugar. Something
Well,
you'd think you'd only hear about people with diabetes.
what's diabetes?
I don't know.
He
Anyways,
certainly died of a beating.
yeah, I would agree. He died of a sugar beating.
Sugar beatus.
I died of a sugar beating.
Die of sugar beatus.
Sugar beating.
Sheriff, what was your name again?
Greg.
Sheriff Greg.
But you can call me Sheriff.
All right, Sheriff, could you take us to Pete?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't know what good it'll do, but I'll take you down to the general store.
Well, I just want to get a general weight of how heavy this bag is when it's, full of sugar.
Maybe a record of sales.
Do you know who this gentleman is, Sheriff?
Oh, Pete?
No. The gentleman laying in the ground,
The deceased.
covered in his old entrails.
Oh, yeah. Name's Jimmy. Kind of keeps to himself. A little bit of a loner. Think he works in the coal mines.
And do you have an idea on the other victims?
Oh, yeah, I got a list, but, it's...
Have you been able to cross-check them and see if there's any similarities between them, perhaps in their backgrounds?
Any relations?
Nah, nothing. I mean, nothing seems to go together, Got a couple coal miners, woman that worked with, out in the dairy fields. Got one, traveling salesman. It's whatever. None of them really kind of line up.
So they all worked or lived outside of the town itself, then?
Nah, I mean, some of them lived here in town. It's, like I said, it's a mixed bag.
All right.
Anyways, y'all want to go to the general store or not?
Lead away, good sir.
Without further ado.
All right, and he takes you around the corner and up the road to Pete's General Store. It is pretty much the typical old-timey Western general store. There's a big porch on the front with a couple rocking chairs to settle your old creaky bones in for a nice long hangout session. There's probably a checkers board up there, too.
Listen to me very, very carefully. Seebo is going to take out a joint. He's going to light it real quick. He's going to take a couple puffs off, and he's going to bust through the doors. And he's going to throw it down on the ground and stomp on it and go, "Where's this fella named Pete?"
Greg says, "Is that marijuana, son?"
No, this is tobacco.
Doesn't smell like any tobacco I've smelled.
Well, you've never had the tobacco of the whites in before us, then.
He's gonna...
Is it that wacky tobacco?
Okay.
The sheriff is gonna give you a side eye, but let it go.
It's just like being back at home. All the furnishings of nice, easy living.
And then Joan walks through the door and sees the sheriff side-eyeing him.
Son, were you smoking that pot again? Is that why he's giving you that look?
What a dump. I mean, it's very rustic. It's very, very rustic.
It's what makes it such a nice place.
A dump.
And from out behind the counter comes a man who appears to be in his late 20s. He's got slicked back hair, a curly mustache. He's wearing a white shirt with a vest and matching trousers.
Would you be interested in buying a used wagon?
And he says, "Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Pete. We're about to close up for the night, but is there anything I can get you quickly before we close our doors for the evening?"
Yes. And he's going to hold up the burlap sack. I need to see one of these filled with sugar.
Yes, of course. We have the finest sugar in town. Let me go get you a bag.
Also, do you know who would have purchased any of these in the last couple of days?
I mean, we are the premier general store in town, but I do keep a record, so I could get you a list of who's
Dracarys,
purchased sugar.
Perfect.
I think it might have been in maybe the last few hours, last day probably. I don't think we need to look that far back.
Unless it's premeditated.
A premeditated sugaring.
Sure, serial killers are not off the table.
Sugar beating.
Or maybe sugar killer? Serial sugar killer?
We're the sticky bandits. We do things with sugar.
The Candy Bandit.
From behind one of the shelves, you hear a voice call out, "Excuse me, could one of you gentlemen assist me?"
Absolutely. Joan will go over to the source of the voice.
Okay. Joan, as you round the corner, you see a short old woman who is reaching up and trying to reach a jar that's up on a shelf that's just out of her reach. I'm terribly sorry to trouble you, but I'm just trying to get a couple of these peppermint sticks down, if you could help me.
It's no trouble at all, ma'am. And he grabs the jar of peppermint sticks and hands it to the lady.
Okay. She's going to pull 3 or 4 out and put them into a small bag and hand you the jar back. And as she does so, when you lean down to grab the jar, she gives you a little peck on the cheek and says, "Oh, you're a nice boy."
Thank you kindly, ma'am.
My name is Nettie. I don't believe I've seen you around town before.
I'm just traveling through.
Oh, well, it's very nice to meet you. I'm sorry, what was your name?
You can just call me Joan.
Joan, what a nice name.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, it's been nice meeting you. Have a great night.
You too.
She's gonna walk up to the front counter and she pulls out a few small coins and sets them on the counter and calls out, "Pete, I'm taking a couple peppermint sticks with me. I've left the coins on the counter." And you hear him call back, "Well, that's quite all right, Nettie. I'll see you tomorrow." And she exits out the door. Pete then shortly reappears from his back area with a full bag of sugar. "Now, will you be needing the whole bag, or?"
Yeah. Dracarys, take that bag of sugar.
Muscle. Grab it.
Muscle, grab the thing.
Sure thing.
With that, I walk up and grab the bag of sugar.
Now tell me, Dracarys, you've had a lot of experience beating men to death.
Could you kill a man with that sugar?
Yes, Joan. Could you kill a man with that bag of sugar?
I could suffocate him.
Kill a man with my sugar? How preposterous. What are you talking about?
I mean, do you think it has the force that you could beat a man?
Like, one hit them in the chest and make their organs explode.
It would
a
have
fine
to
red
be
mist.
a really, really, really hard throw.
Or maybe a drop from a high point.
Did it look like he had been squished?
I mean, kind of. His whole chest cavity was crushed in.
Yes, but I feel as though he would have had to have been struck. If it
Fair
fell, it
point.
would have fallen on his head.
Mr. Pete, we are not planning on murdering anybody. We are just following through on an investigation.
Oh, good heavens. But,
How frequently does anybody buy sugar here?
Yes, could we see that
By the
list?
bag.
oh, yes. Per your slightly unusual request, I have grabbed my ledger book and, let me go through. You said the last, day or so?
Yes.
Alright, so, sugar in the last day or so. That would be, Helena. That's the mayor's wife. It appears that the sheriff purchased a little bit of sugar himself. Let's see here. Ron, he's the town's butcher. He purchased some. Autumn, over at the tavern, she had a bag. And, finally, Ash, who, runs the, defense emporium, I suppose you could call it, down the road.
And all of them bought entire bags.
Well, yes, we don't normally, split the sugar up smaller. The bag is how we generally sell it.
Then why did you ask if I wanted the whole bag?
Well, I do, accommodate, especially for travelers. I know that sometimes when people are passing through town, carrying an entire bag is somewhat,
Very well.
unrealistic.
Of course. Thank you. I simply was wondering. All right. Thank you for this information, sir.
Of course, absolutely.
So, he didn't purchase the bag of sugar.
Who didn't?
The gentleman who was killed did not purchase the bag of sugar.
No, I didn't. I don't believe he did. Thus, further suspicion to it being somehow the murder weapon and tied to it. Perhaps it was used as some sort of a silencer for a bludgeoning weapon.
Or even worn as a disguise.
I'm a sugar bag ghost.
It is spoopy. That's very spoopy.
I think we should talk to the gentleman at the Defense Emporium.
I believe it was a lady. Pete, any way that we could get a copy of the list of people that have bought the sugar recently?
Of course, I will write it down for you.
Thank you kindly.
So he writes it all down, and again, those names are Helena, the mayor's wife, Sheriff Greg bought some, Ron, who's the butcher, Autumn, who owns the tavern, and Ash.
The butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker. And the mine.
Ash defense thingy.
Emporium.
Okay. Well, I guess Ash is actually a very ambiguous name.
Okay, so at this point, Pete has indicated to you that he really needs to close up for the evening, and so you have now stepped out onto the porch, and Sheriff Greg says, well, I mean, if y'all want to keep running around bothering honest people, that's up to you, but I've got police work to do trying to catch this criminal, so I'm gonna move along here.
Hold on a minute, sir, before we let you go. A quick question. On this list of people that we had buying sugar recently, your name appears on that list. Would you mind disclosing either by showing us what the sugar you got left, if any?
I mean, what do you want to do? Go into my house and look at my sugar supply?
Oh, we don't have to go into your house. You can bring it out if you'd like.
Do you work the night shift every night?
I'm the sheriff. I'm always on duty.
Right, that has to be exhausting, man.
Listen, okay? Listen, I don't like to talk about it, but I like to bake cookies, okay?
No, you're fine. I'm just... The best way to remove any possible suspects is through, evidence, and the visual evidence would be the best way of going about it. So if you still have your sugar, then obviously you couldn't have done it.
Alright, fine. Come on, let's go. Let's get a hitch in your step. And he kind of quick marches over to his house. He lives right actually near the center of town, just a few doors down from the sheriff's offices. You get the idea that he in fact actually is always on the job. And he unlocks his door and walks inside and quickly comes back out and produces a half-full bag of sugar. See? Still got the sugar.
All right. Listen, I wasn't suspecting you, but I want to clear everybody that I can.
I mean, I kind of was, but it was probably more
he's
because
a man of the law. It's a respectable position.
It was probably more because of his crass behavior, but, we can look past that. Sorry for doubting you, Sheriff.
I more so just wanted to see where he had the cookies at.
Well, I don't know if Listen, we don't have time to eat cookies, although I might get back with you later on that, Sheriff. Especially if they're as good as you make them sound.
Dracarys, the sheriff, sets his sugar down and hands you a snickerdoodle.
Well, that's gotta be
Sheriff, could I have...
damn cookie I've ever had.
Could I have one of those too?
Alright, cookies all around from the sheriff.
Yes. Now leave me alone. I got police work to do.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you for your time.
I intend to help you with the night shift tonight, keeping watch on the town.
Well, I mean, you can do whatever you want. Generally, once the murders happen, the town quiets down. There's never been more than one a night.
Sure, but do you mind pointing me in the direction of the mayor and his wife's house?
And he points, and you can see sort of a little bit like kind of on the edge of where the main part of town is, up on a little bit of a hill. There's a slightly bigger house. Over there's the mayoral residence. But I wouldn't go bothering him tonight. Mayor Dan likes to get to bed nice and early.
Well, he's the one that requested our help, and his wife's on the list of suspects I got here, so looks like I might have to bug him after all.
Oh, whatever you gotta do then. And he turns and walks down the road away from you. So you now have a list of suspects. Who do you want to talk to first?
Since we already know where it is, head to the mayoral residence. That way we can get it done as early as possible, too.
Okay. I will also say, it wouldn't, just because I didn't give you this information necessarily, it would not be particularly hard for you to obtain the location of any of these people.
Oh, no, I just planned on, once I'm done inquiring with them, hey, where's this person at?
But, okay, yeah, I got you. I just wanted to let you know, just so that was
that's
on
fine.
the table.
Sheriff probably knows where everybody
But also,
in town is.
But also, while Joan's walking, he's going to keep an eye out and see if he can already just see any locations between. Like, I'm walking down and I see, there's the butcher's place. He might still be there. Something kind of that.
Sure, I got you.
Butcher's on the list?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Ron, the butcher.
I want to go talk to the butcher and the person at the Defense Emporium.
I want to talk to everybody.
We're free to split up. I don't know
Yeah, for sure. No, that's what I'm doing.
Everybody was moving as a conglomerate.
Well, y'all can have a discussion, even in character if you want to.
Too mainstream. Now, listen, we can split off if we want to cover more ground quickly, get more people earlier so they can get their night's sleep, or we can catch this murderer, or we could go together as a group. It's fine by me, whatever you want to do.
I want to go talk to the what's his name? Ash at the Defense Emporium.
Okay. Anybody wanting to go with you? I say we don't split into no less than 2 and 2. I don't want anybody getting whacked off. That sounds bad.
Well,
No, leave it in.
if you're against glory holes, then I guess.
Listen to me very carefully. Leave it in.
Whack me, please. Whack me all the way up.
I don't want any of us getting murdered out here for no good reason.
Very well, very well. Dracarys?
And I'll take the tiefling.
Well,
Who does have a name, it's Ryder.
I didn't realize we were picking teams, but alright.
You already just said Dracarys.
Well, I was gonna ask if he wanted to come with me.
Oh, by all means.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds fair.
Alright, you go with Dracarys, and I'll go with Ryder.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, so Seebo, Dracarys, where are you guys going?
Well, you wanted to go talk to the guy at the...
Who's closer, the butcher, or Ash?
So all of the suspects that are currently on your list all live in the town. So
The only ones who are separate are the mayor.
right, who still lives in town. He's just a little bit farther away. But it's going to be kind of a negligible difference on going one place over the other.
Let's go and have a chat with the butcher.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so you make your way over. You're able to gather some directions from the few remaining stragglers that are out on the streets for the night, and they navigate you over to the butcher's shop. It appears like he's locked up for the night, but after banging on the door a couple times, it's swung open rather harshly, and there's a large, stocky man standing.
Oh, good, not a half-orc.
No, actually, all of the inhabitants of this town are human, actually. So you bang on the door a couple times, and a large, imposing-looking man, probably about 6'3", 250 pounds, throws open the door. Well, what do you want?
Hello, mate.
We're closed for the night. Come back tomorrow. We just want to see your sugar. Who the hell do you think you are? What kind of question is that?
Look, I'm sorry. Let's introduce ourselves. My name's Seebo, and I'm working for Mayor Dan.
My name's I don't give a fuck. I'm closed.
And he slams the door shut.
Is there a window?
There's a small window in the front, yeah.
Seebo's teleporting in.
Okay. Seebo teleports in. Go ahead and make a dexterity check for me.
What is the door made of?
This looks like a solid oak door.
18?
Okay, 18. He takes he's surprised, but he takes like a big sort of forearm swing at you, and you're able to duck it.
How the hell did you get in my house?
Look, calm down. It doesn't matter how I got in. What's more important is that you didn't murder the poor fellow that just died earlier today.
I didn't murder anybody. What are you talking about?
And see, look, that's the thing. I don't think you murdered him. But we got the list from Pete at the market. Your name was on the list of the people that may have murdered someone with sugar.
That Pete's always been a little blabbermouth.
Well, he was actually quite discreet. I mean, it was all classy. It's okay, no snitching.
Go ahead and do a persuasion check just to see like how much he's kind of being calmed down by how you're talking to him.
That will be an unnatural 21.
Okay. He goes,
all right, listen, I'm trying to close up so I can go to bed. I got an early morning. Just, what do you want?
It says on Pete's list that you bought a bag of sugar recently.
Well, sure, I bought a bag of sugar from him.
Okay, so all I need to see is visual evidence that you have said bag of sugar.
Well, I don't have the bag of sugar.
Well, why not?
What do you mean, why not? I don't have it anymore.
Well, where did it go?
Well, it got used up.
All of it?
Well, yeah.
And you didn't get a new bag yet?
No, of course not. Pete was closing up for the night.
So you used it all up today?
Yes.
So then where's your trash?
Listen, I threw my trash out. What do you want?
Well, where's your garbage can?
Garbage can?
What do you do with your trash?
I took it out of town, like any sensible human being. What, they don't have waste management where you're from? Y'all just shit in the streets or what?
Man. Well, we actually just have a little hole inside our cave that we're in.
I don't actually care. Listen, I don't have the sugar anymore. I don't know why you're asking questions about the sugar. Can you please leave now?
Dracarys is just outside the house, isn't he?
yeah, he's like just as a. I think you can probably still. I mean, he's got his voice raised pretty well. I think you can hear at least muffled voices enough to get a gist of what's going on inside.
So I'd like to do a strength check to try to break down the door.
How about this? Seebo is going to unlatch the door.
Okay, we'll go ahead and do your strength check here.
17.
Okay, you hit the door and it, like, creaks and groans real hard. And at that point, Seebo remembers you're still out there.
Shit!
What the hell?
Sorry. Dracarys. Apparently this man doesn't have his sugar anymore.
Well, according to the purchase record, that was today that he bought it, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah, I bought it today. What's it to you?
And you used it all up today.
Well, of course I used it all up today. That's what I just told you.
So you buy a bag of sugar every day.
No, of course not.
Well, why did you buy sugar and use it all up in one day?
I had need of a lot of sugar.
What were you making?
Honey baked ham.
Well, let me see it.
Because he has a crippling addiction to sugar.
You make honey baked ham
I want to see this honey-baked ham.
with refined sugar. Are you ripping everybody off?
Yeah, where I come from, we make it with cane sugar.
We make it with honey. Listen, if I show you the damn hams, will you go away, please?
Yes, and can I have one?
Will you pay for it?
Money is merely an object, my good sir.
It's merely an object that I want. No money, no ham.
He will flip him one gold piece that just seemingly is magically in his hand.
Okay. He catches it, and he looks at it, and then just kind of gestures up with his thumb a couple times.
Sir, your craft is good, I'm sure. But one gold piece for a merely ham? That seems like more than a fair price.
He just gestures again with his thumb. And then he looks at you and goes, I know you're good for it.
Seebo will cast Minor Illusion and flip him another gold coin.
Okay.
You know, it specifically states in that spell that doesn't hold up to scrutiny.
Yes,
I was gonna say.
but he also has to
The fuck are my dice?
detect it.
I don't know, do you need a D20?
I guess so. I don't know where the fuck my dice went.
Too bad Ash isn't here.
It's weird because
I don't even need it, dude. Like, I have so much money. It's just like, one gold piece is more than enough for a ham, bro.
Okay, yeah, he definitely knows it's not real.
You trying to cheat me, boy?
Can we just see the damn ham?
Now he's just gonna hold his hand out.
Come on, moneybags.
Seebo's gonna take 2 more pieces and throw them at him.
He catches them.
Well, for 2 more pieces, I'll wrap it up on ice for you.
And he leads you into the back and shows you several honey-baked hams that he has prepared and are arrayed on his sort of cutting board.
And they all appear to be fresh.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's a butcher in a town without refrigeration. Everything he does is fresh.
Everything he does is fresh.
He makes it, people buy it.
But yeah, he picks one of them up and sort of swiftly wraps it in some like butcher's paper and ties it up with some twine, sets it in your hands and says,
Pleasure doing business with you. Now get out.
Alright, well, you have a good night, sir. Don't go and murder anyone, alright? We'll be watching you.
I'll murder you if you come around asking too many nosy questions.
I'd like to see you try. And out he walks.
And he slams the door behind you. Let's jump over to Joan and Ryder. You have journeyed across town and are now at the entrance to the mayor's residence.
Joan knocks at the door pleasantly.
What is a pleasant knock?
Or politely, I guess. This is the right word, sorry.
Okay.
Listen, I can do it in post.
I can do it in post.
I can do it.
All right. After a good length of time has gone by, the door is opened by a man who you can only assume is some kind of a servant who says, "Good evening. May I inquire as to your business so late?"
Good evening, sir. I'm here to speak with the lady of the house. We're tasked by her husband, actually, to investigate some goings-on in the town, and we have a few questions for her.
I believe she and the mayor have already retired to their chambers for the night. Could you come back tomorrow?
My good sir, we actually need only to see a bag of sugar that was procured in the last little while.
Oh, yeah. We actually just, the sugar that the lady bought, if we could see the sugar, then we'll be on our way.
Bag of sugar?
A bag of sugar. Purchased today.
Quite an unusual request.
Yeah, well, we don't need to touch it or anything, we just need to see it.
I suppose, okay. Could you wait here a moment, please?
Absolutely, sir.
And then he shuts the door and walks away, and you wait for about 45 seconds, and he returns, kind of holding a burlap sack limply in his hand, and he says, "Is this the sugar to which you were inquiring?"
Could you turn it just a little bit? I'm looking for a little logo.
The logo for Pete's General
Store.
Yes, of course.
Well, of course, where else would we get the sugar?
Oh, that's right.
Around.
It's only the only place in town. Sorry, I got a lot on my mind. All right. And there's clearly still sugar in there. Right? That's sugar in there, sir?
Of course it's sugar in there.
All right. I mean, you're the one holding it. I don't know, it might be liquid or something.
Listen, this is all very irregular. Is there anything else you need for the evening, sir?
No. Thank you for your time.
A good night.
Good night.
And he slams the door.
Pleasant fellow.
Very obtuse.
All right.
Didn't like him.
Well, that's fine. You don't have to like everybody you meet. Let's see. So she's good. And they said they were going to be talking to the butcher and the person in charge of, quote, Defense Emporium, end quote. So it looks like we're going to be hitting up the tavern.
All right. It actually is getting fairly late to the point where most people will have gone to bed for the night. So you're probably going to have to call it a night in terms of questioning people.
So it's never too late. This is a 24-hour job. If people didn't want to be murder suspects, they wouldn't have bought bags of sugar.
They would have gotten murdered.
The tavern is still open, and they do have rooms at the tavern you can rent out to spend the night in.
Shall we,
We shall.
Okay. All right. So we're going to the tavern to go to bed. And maybe talk to...
Definitely talk to the bartender
and
or
get a
owner
drink
if she's there.
And get a drink.
Okay. So you guys are going to the tavern. Are you going to go find your other companions, or are you just heading straight for the tavern?
We'll be there because, I mean, since we were stopping here for the night anyway, they'd end up coming to the tavern. So I'm sure we'll meet up with them here when they show up.
Sure. Dracarys and Seebo, I know you said you wanted to go and question Ash as well. However, when you go and knock on the door of his shop, you get no answer when you head over there.
Just because we get no answer doesn't mean we can't take a look around.
Yeah, I was about to say, you mean we started peeking in windows?
I mean, you can peek in the window of his shop if you want to.
That's what we did.
That's what we doing.
Okay.
Is there a check involved?
Yeah, go ahead and roll investigation.
That's an unnatural critical fail. I have a -1 on my investigation.
I have the power!
Seebo.
That's great, because it's an unnatural 20 for me.
Okay. You peer in the windows, and you see just a large open room. There's some mats on the floor, a couple of training weapons hung on the wall, but other than that, you see nothing else in this building. And with a 20, I'll also give you that you can tell that Ash does not live here. This is just a shop. He must live somewhere else.
Well, it looks like Mr. Ash doesn't actually live here. Seems like just a training space.
Do you think we can break in and look around a bit.
I mean, if you want. Seebo is going to pull out his handy-dandy thief's tools. Haven't used you babies in a while. And go to pick the door. Pick the lock up. Yeah.
I've been too busy monocling my pixel.
19.
Yeah, I mean, a 19 is sufficient to pick this lock, and the door swings open.
Mwah. I love you too, and back into the coach.
Okay, are you heading inside?
Yes.
Okay, as you cross the threshold of the door, a magical tripwire is tripped, and an alarm sound starts blaring.
Well, fuck. Dracarys?
Yeah.
I believe you know the drill.
I was really checking out the door frames here.
Okay, let's go.
Has this alarm could be just like heard outside and everything, right?
Yes, this is a loud alarm.
Has this happened before Ryder and Joan have reached the tavern?
Yeah, we'll say this is when you're walking to the tavern, since it was quite a walk to the mayor's house and back.
Okay. What in the... Seebo! And then Joan's gonna sprint towards the noise.
And Ryder just kind of stands there and shakes his head and starts walking towards the tavern without Joan.
Okay. So you just walk to the tavern. Joan, you run up on the street just in time to see Dracarys and Seebo kind of backing their way out of this building.
No, Seebo does not back out, just casually walks out and walks down the street like nothing's going on.
Seebo, what in the hell is going on?
Nothing's going on. I don't know what you mean.
There's clearly an alarm going off in that building over there.
Well, Joan, right now...
You just walked right...
I'm simply leaving the butcher's shop, and now I'm heading to the tavern for a nice drink.
The doorway you just walked out of don't look like no butcher door. It looks like the building that's blaring.
I don't know about you, but I see Dracarys standing in the door frame.
I saw Dracarys there looking at a door, and I saw you walk out of it. Now, if I were to guess as to who set off any sort of alarm that I'm guessing this is, it'd be you.
Look, if we don't make ourselves...
Did you find an empty bag of sugar?
If we don't make ourselves scarce, we're gonna get caught, and then we're gonna have to...
You deserve to be caught. Breaking and entering.
You're here now, too. You're gonna go down with me.
I am here because I knew it was you.
Well,
why was I not surprised?
Well, very well. I was caught. You got me, Mr. Law. Now, let's go.
You're so difficult sometimes. You know what? You can get out of this any way you want. I'm cleansing my hands of this whole scenario. I will be meeting you as we planned at the tavern.
I'm walking with you.
Joan does not even wait for him. He just turns around and is walking away.
And he is walking with him. Perfect cover. Who looks more innocent than standing right next to a lawman?
Okay, Ryder. You have arrived at the tavern some minutes before your companions. And you walk in, it's pretty typical tavern fare. There's some long, sort of communal tables scattered throughout the tavern, as well as a bar top in front of the bar itself. And some stairs that undoubtedly lead up to a few rooms that are above the tavern.
Alright. Is there anybody playing any music?
Yeah, I think there's probably a piano player over in the corner.
Can I vibe with him?
Yeah, roll a vibe check.
Can I vibe with him? Hell yeah.
And we'll call this, for lack of...
Performance?
We'll call this a performance check.
For lack of a
check for vibe.
check.
That's a 25.
Okay, yeah, you're vibing real good. Are you pulling out your instrument as well?
Yep.
Okay. So we get a nice duet going. There's like a real kind of like Devil Went Down to Georgia sort of vibe going on right now.
Jam sesh.
All right.
Bim and bam, and we are jamming.
Is this happening as we walk up to the tavern?
Yeah, actually, when you walk up, for all the white girls in attendance, they've started playing Piano Man. But yeah, it's it's vibing. The music is vibing. And Seebo, since you're such a cool cat, you definitely feel the vibe.
Can Seebo join the vibe?
Sure, Seebo can also roll a vibe check.
Get them vibes going.
We need a vibrator
That
to rate our vibes. Can anybody construct that? Construct a vibrator?
No, because it's 9:30.
But it is a 19, so
Okay, Seebo is also vibing.
pulls out his viola.
Okay, since Seebo's walking with Joan, that means Joan has probably entered the same time.
Correct.
Joan is not going to go vibe, because that ain't his thing. He's going to instead go up to the bar and talk to the person working the counter.
Okay. The woman working the counter is about mid-40s on the shorter end with brown hair. And as you slide up to the bar, she says, "What do you have?"
I'll have whatever you pour. Not real picky.
And she pours you an ale and slides it across to you. Not from round here, huh?
Nope, just passing through, looking for some rooms for the night, and answers to a question or two.
Well, my name is Autumn. This here's my tavern, and I think I got 2 rooms available up in the upstairs there.
2 rooms will work fine, and I'll pay you in advance.
Well, I thank you kindly.
So he pays her, whatever it is. Now, seeing as you have answered one of my questions, I was actually also coming in here looking to speak with you, Autumn. I'm sure you've heard about all the stuff that's been going on at night around town.
Oh yeah, I heard about poor Jimmy. He's a great customer. I'm gonna miss seeing him in here.
I understand that. But this might seem like an odd request, but do you happen to still have the bag of sugar that you purchased today?
Sugar? I mean, probably. You talking about from Pete's?
Yes, ma'am, from Pete's.
I mean, I don't know. We buy sugar probably every other day here. You know, we got a lot of customers. I can look.
That'd be greatly appreciated, ma'am.
So she goes in the back for a little bit and comes back with a bag of sugar that has almost nothing left in the bag. This what you're talking about?
Yes, ma'am, that is.
Okay, and so from the visual inspection of this bag, you can tell there's like only a few cups of sugar left in here. It's basically empty.
Yep.
I mean, we did a lot of baking today, but, you know, this is what I got.
I could understand with such a fine establishment as this. Thank you kindly. That's about all the questions I had for you. Have another ale if you'll pour me another one.
Of course. And she pours you another ale. So, you guys spend the rest of the night out a few drinks, vibing to the music, doing your thing, and then go upstairs to the room that, to the rooms that Joan prepared for you, and you grab some sleep for the night.
This is bad. Everybody had their bag of sugar, except for...
Except for the butcher.
The butcher did not have
The mayor's wife has a partial bag. The sheriff has a half of a bag. The butcher has nothing left, not even the bag. Autumn has an almost empty bag. We have not been able to procure information about Ash. And then Pete's still suspicious because he has access to sugar all the time.
I didn't even think about Pete. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Pete was my first suspect.
For sure.
Oh, for sure.
The thing that I just realized when I was saying this that I forgot is we should have asked him for his inventory counts.
Well, we might have to go back there and be like...
No,
hey,
it's a new day. We have like 12 hours or less.
The butcher, the baker, and the candlestick.
So have you have all settled in and gone to sleep?
Hey everybody, RJ here. I hope you're enjoying this episode of Realms and Nerds. If you are, and you haven't already, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications for the show to know when new episodes are released. Also, maybe share the show with someone else that you think would enjoy it. It's one of, if not the best, ways to help our podcast continue to grow. It's available on pretty much every platform out there, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon Music, Pandora, iHeartRadio. Thank you so much to our friend Kyle for composing the melody of our main theme. And of course, thank you to every single one of you for listening to our podcast.
The next morning, who shared a room with who, by the way?
Joan definitely shared the room with Seebo to make sure he didn't get into any more shenanigans.
Okay.
Like smoking inside the bedroom.
Oh, he doesn't care about that, but just no more doing stupid shit like setting alarms off at businesses.
Seebo, I know this is almost a question I don't need to ask you, but roll an investigation check for me.
Yes, that's a natural 40.
Well, for your information, it's only a 15.
Wow.
Yeah, my investigation is
roll,
only
bro.
plus 8.
Would you roll a 3?
An 8?
Okay. As you slowly rouse from your sleep, you kind of shake the grogginess out of your head and you turn over and look, and Joan is still sleeping soundly next to you, and the blankets on his bed, the white sheets, are all covered in red spots all over the place.
Are the sheets... So are his sheets also spotted?
Yeah, yes, it's his sheets that are covered in this red.
Oh. Are Joan's sheets also spotted?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Joan's sheets.
Yeah, I'm saying are Seebo's sheets also spotted?
No, Seebo's are clean, just Joan's.
Joan!
What? What do you mean?
What's on your bed?
Just...
Look, hey!
What? Who? Oh, is it still dark out? What? Seebo, what you need, little buddy?
Seebo's gonna have gotten out of bed at this point and, walked over.
Okay. Upon closer examination, the redness that's all over his sheet is blood. And as Joan reaches his hands up to sort of look at the sheets himself, you see that his hands and his forearms are also coated in blood.
Joan! Are you bleeding? Or what's going on?
I don't know.
Get out of bed! Hurry!
Wait, am I asleep? Or...
Team's gonna just roll him out of bed. If he can.
Okay.
Strength check,
and
probably.
finds the 20-some knives in his back.
18 for a strength check.
Okay, you push him, and you're able to, kind of roll him off the bed. So he kind of falls, he lands on his knees, so he's kind of just in front of the bed.
I'm awake. Hello?
Are you okay, Joan? There's blood all over your bed.
Of course I'm okay. Wait, what?
Look at your hands.
What's wrong with... Oh my good gracious holy heavens.
And just at this moment, there's a knock at the door, and then quickly the door is opened, and in steps Sheriff Greg, and he goes,
The pattern's been broken. There was another murder that took place last night, and I think...
And he stops mid-sentence and looks at Joan.
But you seem to know something about those murders, don't you, friend?
He can attest that I just woke up. Unless I'm still dreaming.
Sheriff, you have to believe me, he did just wake up. I woke up merely moments ago.
Listen, doesn't matter. I'm taking this man into custody. You're coming with me.
And he throws some handcuffs onto Joan. The commotion of all of this does rouse Dracarys and Ryder, who open their door sleepily to see Joan being led out, still with the blood all over him.
Sheriff Dan, how could he have been the murderer?
Holy shit, Joan murdered somebody?
That's news to me.
It's not possible. Oh, I assure you it's possible. Look at him. He's practically got the evidence all over him. and I got a girl downstairs in the alley with her throat sliced open.
But at the same time, you've had bodies showing up for 2 weeks and we only showed up yesterday.
I don't know. Maybe he's opportunistic. All I know is I got a dead girl in the alley outside, and I got a man covered in blood here. So he's coming with me.
For the record, Joan's not fighting him because he, despite being woken up not too long ago, he has done the thought process of, like you said, it broke the pattern, and we're the only new people in town. So it makes sense to Joan why the sheriff is thinking that. So Joan's like, well, I probably can't get through to him, so I'm not even really going to try.
So can I sneak into the room and do a perception check of it?
Which room? The room they were. You're not really sneaking. The sheriff has just led Joan away to take him to the holding cells.
Oh, right,
in the sheriff's office.
and we already know that he has a poor ability to keep a crime scene taped up.
He's walking away at this point. He thinks he's caught his man, so he's taking him to the.
Well, figure this out, Joan.
Cell.
Yeah, I know you will. Either that or I'll die with you trying.
All right, Seebo, jokes aside, we should probably look into this before anything. Yeah,
It's Joan's bed.
And the window.
Joan's bed. Joan's bed.
Perception check on
17
the window.
for Joan's bed.
Perception
Investigation.
check on the investigation on the window.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
10?
Okay. Ryder, as far as you can tell, the window was not opened all night. Seebo, when you investigate the bed, you can tell where Joan clearly got out of bed because you can see the covers have been kind of thrown back. And then you can see from the way that the blood is on the sheets that he actually came back and laid down in the bed on the other side, opposite of where he threw the covers off. He came around to the other side of the bed and got back in the bed that way.
This is strange. Ryder, look.
So
It seems as though Joan got into bed on one side, got out, and then came back to bed on the other side.
So I want to do a check to see if Ryder would know whether, because Ryder does a lot with illusion magic. I want to know whether or not he would know if Joan was hypnotized or something like that to do it. So would that be an Arcana check?
Sure. Go do an Arcana check.
18.
Okay. When you examine the bed, you get a slight magical reading from the pillow of the bed, but upon examination of the pillow, there's nothing in the pillow itself that would make you think that there is any kind of a spell attached to the pillow or the bed or whatever. And the magic seems to be the best way that you can think of it, just because of the way you've experienced magic in your past. It's kind of like Dominate Person, but you kind of feel like it's not. It doesn't seem like a spell that you've felt before.
Seebo.
Yeah.
I'm going to go off on a big limb right here, and I'm going to give you something incredibly strange. I think that Joan was put under some kind of mind control spell.
I'm totally on board.
I thought I would have to, No.
Look at the way that... Okay, not only does... It's inconsistent. Joan is a very routine person. I think it's strange that he would have gotten out of bed and in bed on one side, but only to come back on the other side of the bed. Not to mention that look at the blood. He clearly got bloody before he got in bed, and we know that Joan wouldn't go off and slit someone's throat.
I mean, he's the law.
He is the law.
The law.
Joan. Anyways, currently, I guess the law's looking not so lawful.
But who would do... This also makes sense for every one of those people, it seems like. Well, I don't know then. I'm confused because
if the murderer is never getting his own hands dirty, and simply is killing people with the hands of others, then perhaps, that could be an angle. We need to chase down a couple more leads, see if we can find anything else, and get Joan out of jail.
Also, we probably shouldn't sleep here
Yes,
anymore.
I would agree.
We should
Sleeping-
probably sleep outside of town so that we don't get caught in this sort of thing again.
What's Dracarys been doing this whole time?
Dracarys has been listening intently and slowly taking stock of the inventory. He's been paying attention to the guard rotation schedule, and can I actually get a check on when those are?
Sure.
When the change of the guard is?
Yeah. I mean, it's not a guard per se, more like a watch. But yeah, go ahead and roll like a perception check.
That's a 6.
So from, just kind of a basic investigation, you saw, before you went to bed, you noticed that a night watchman came by the tavern about every hour or so. And so, as far as you would think that they would be coming by about every hour, just based on that knowledge, but you have no more knowledge other than that.
Well, I can't seem to pick out when exactly our perpetrator would be avoiding the guards, but the only one who didn't have a bag of sugar was, what's his name over at the Defense Guild thing?
Well, that's not entirely true. It seemed as though he might have bought it for his own personal use at his home.
True, and the butcher, same.
Well, the butcher, we can only assume, used his sugar. However, I don't believe that now that we're looking at magical use, that he would have been our prime suspect.
True.
So, when you happen to stick your sticky fingers into the locks of that defense place, did you happen to see if they had some sort of magical thing? Like, were they practicing magic?
Well, you see, Mr. Ash had some sort of magical alarm set up. In fact, I believe that from the knowledge I have, it was in fact the alarm spell. Somehow, he had his own door booby-trapped with it. So, we do know that we have a magic user.
Interesting. Shall we venture forth and
find Ash?
Have a conversation with him?
Okay. So, are you all heading over to Ash's shop?
Yes.
Yes, and before leaving the tavern, Seebo's going to ask if Joan has a tab, as he's currently not able to pay said tab.
Oh, the tall fella? Nah, he paid everything up nice and proper before he went to bed. He's a good guy. At least I thought he was a good guy. I don't know. Now I saw the sheriff taking him away a couple minutes ago.
So, did you happen to... I know that you weren't up all night, but did you happen to see anybody pass by, up the stairs, rent out any more rooms to anybody else? Oh, wait, no, this is a tavern, of course you have. Seebo, I'm flustered.
Well, I can probably wrap it up nice and tight for you. You guys were the last ones to rent rooms for the night. After y'all went to bed, there was one or two stragglers. They're regulars. I could probably vouch for them. I sent them packing, stumbling pissed drunk into the darkness. But, that's the way they go out most nights. And I locked up for the night.
So that means everyone... You don't believe anyone left the tavern last night, then?
I mean, I went to bed after that, but as far as I know...
And if someone were to leave, could they simply walk out the front door?
Oh, sure. I mean, the lock's locked from the inside, so if you were already in the building, you could get out easy enough.
And this morning, the locks, you found them still locked, yes?
I mean, they were locked back up, for sure.
Thank you.
Okay, so you're going back to Ash's shop?
Yes.
Okay. As you approach the shop, you now see, now that you're in the daylight, that it has a sign above it. And his shop is called Defend Yourself Dojo. And the door is open.
Same routine. See what's good. Seebo just he's gonna light a joint and come walking and taking some puffs off it. We're here to see a man named Ash.
From down the street, you hear, "Is that marijuana, son?"
You're making a terrible impression for us. You need to stop that. I'm trying not to get in trouble with the law.
You sure you don't want to hit before I put it out?
No. Maybe just. And he takes a little one and puts it.
Alright, so you guys all walk in, and you meet Ash. He's a tall, thin man in his mid-20s with slightly balding hair, and he says, "Hey guys, you here to learn some self-defense routines?"
Well, Ash, I totally am.
To my understanding, you're the best, so yeah.
Oh, cut the chatter. We're here to see your sugar.
My sugar. Listen, I don't know about sugar, but I've got some sugar moves for you. And he does a couple quick moves, sort of punching the air and, like doing a couple quick motions. I can teach you all kinds of self-defense through the martial arts.
The plate in the back of... I have a metal plate installed in the back of my head, and whenever I'm in the presence of morons, it just sort of ticks and warms up, and it feels like the back of my skull is on fire right now. So, if I could just see your bag of sugar, I will be on my way.
Listen, there's no sugar here. Only, and he does a couple quick moves, lethal killing moves.
Alright, Ash.
How frequently do you practice your moves outside of your dojo?
All the time, man. Even with my friends, I'd just be standing there sometimes and just kind of throw a quick punch or a kick just to show them I know what I'm doing.
And how deadly are your attacks?
Well, they say I could kill a man with one move.
Put him in jail. Just put him in jail already. I'm
And
tired of him.
can you?
Well, of course I can.
Dracarys.
I'm not posing as a body for this. I don't plan to die today, thank you.
Oh my god.
Well, I'd love to challenge you to Agni Kai.
I'm going home. I'm done with this.
Agni Kai? I don't think I've heard of it.
Well, how about we spar then? And trust me, don't go easy on me, alright?
Listen, I got a class soon. I don't think I have time for that.
Well, I don't really have time for any of this, but you see, the thing is, I need to find out if you're actually a threat or not.
Listen, friend, I don't want to hurt you.
Maybe I want to hurt you.
Hey man, you came into my dojo.
Seebo is going to assume a karate pose and go,
I hate this.
Come on, man, let's not get crazy about this. Listen, we all know I could kill you, but I'm not gonna do it, alright? So let's just talk business. What do you want? You here for lessons or what?
Just as I suspected. He doesn't know martial arts. That's how someone who practices magic talks. Always trying to find a clever solution, a secret backdoor, the silver tongue.
Magic?
I'm going to ignore what you just said. And so can I do a performance check to be Seebo's hype man and be like, you don't want to face this, or I want to try to goad him into fighting Seebo.
Okay, roll it.
Persuasion?
Probably persuasion, yeah.
Okay,
You're good?
that's a 13.
You're good.
Okay, let me hear your speech.
Listen, man, I can understand that you're scared of fighting a halfling. I mean, a big old man like you wouldn't want...
A gnome?
A gnome, even smaller. What a wimp. Do you see this, Seebo? Look at this wimp. He's afraid to fight a diminutive little gnome. He's afraid of you, Seebo.
Yeah.
He's so freaking afraid of you that he can't handle himself.
I know.
Look at that. Look at that little wet spot on him. He's pissing himself.
Already pissing himself?
Yeah, he's already
I haven't
pissing
even started
himself.
beating him yet.
You gonna cry? Maybe piss your pants? Maybe shit and cum?
Listen, I'm not afraid of anything. The only thing I'm afraid of is, and he does a couple more moves, killing someone with my bare hands.
Oh, it sounds like we have a chicken. I've seen more intimidating ham sandwiches than you.
That draws the line.
My father died from a ham sandwich.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
So I'm not even going to ask you because I know what the answer is. He turns and makes a quick strike at Ryder, attempting to go for his throat, but aims way low and sort of just impacts into his chest, all like completely non-effectively.
What the fuck was that? Can I roll to punch him back?
Sure.
Okay. Oh boy. That is a 19.
Okay, yeah, you definitely punch him.
Alright, it's probably a 1d4, right?
Yeah, it's just an unarmed
1d4.
strike.
1d4 plus...
Straight.
Plus strength, yeah.
Oh yeah, I gotta use dexterity if I'm a monk, but strength if I'm not. So that's 5 damage?
Okay, yeah, you catch him square in the chest and you throw him back on his back.
And then Seebo would like
He
to
gasps.
kick out his knees and put daggers to his throat now that he's on his knees. And I rolled a 17.
Yeah, you easily kind of just like mount on top of him, put daggers to his throat. Okay. Listen. It's all cool, guys. It's all cool.
Look, our friend is currently sitting in a jail cell, and the only thing that we have to go on is who did and did not buy sugar. Now, did you buy a bag of sugar yesterday?
Sugar? Yeah, sure, of course. Yeah, I bought sugar.
And where's the fucking bag of sugar?
At my house, obviously. Why would I keep sugar here? I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's sugar. Why would I keep it here? Like, I don't bake here. This is my dojo. This is my place of training. My temple of the martial arts. Why would I keep it here? I don't know what you're talking about, guys.
One more question.
Yeah.
Last night, I heard that someone broke into your shop, and I heard an alarm going off, and it sounded like it could have been a magical thing. I was wondering, who put the spell on your door?
I put the spell on. It took a couple lessons, but like...
So, what you're saying is, you're somewhat of a mage, and you're making fun of mages.
I took a couple lessons. Look, like, I had a little, 2% of, magical ability. I took a couple lessons to learn some simple spells. It's no big deal, right? It was a basic, it was like a basic thing, right?
Can I do so it would be would it be an investigation check to see whether he's lying or not?
Do an insight check.
Insight check. That's a 20. A natural 20.
Okay. Yeah, he definitely is not lying. He took, as far as you can tell, he's telling the truth. He took some lessons from somebody to learn a few simple spells. And I will even give you, just because you are a magic user, clearly much more powerful than him, you can tell that he really is telling the truth about his level of magical ability. He has, a drop in the bucket, so to speak. As far as magical ability goes, he can hit you with some real simple spells, but that's about it.
Seebo, help the man up. He's going to miss his first class of the day, as he's going to show us his bag of sugar.
Very well. Up to your feet, take us to your house, show us your sugar, and then we'll be on our way.
I don't don't know why you want to see my sugar, but, and he kind of looks over and sees that Seebo is still holding the daggers, like, out, kind of pointing him, and he goes, yeah, sugar, okay, yeah. And he, quickly walks down the street through a couple side passageways to a, small apartment building, leads you into where he lives, and, quickly produces a bag of sugar that is mostly full.
Thank you for your help, and
Yes, you've been very cooperative.
And I'll make sure to not tell anybody that a bard knocked you on your ass. And he walks out.
And as Seebo and Ryder walk out, Seebo's gonna put a hand up for a high five.
And Ryder's gonna low five that all day.
All right.
Did you get that, RJ?
So you have now talked to everybody that was on the list of who bought a bag of sugar.
Except Pete.
He didn't buy any sugar, though.
We need to talk to Pete about his inventory.
Mm.
And does the mage that he learned those spells from live in town? Or...
You didn't ask him.
As we're walking out,
I'm such a great detective, guys.
as we're walking out, we high five. We're like, yeah, we're so
Wait.
good.
Wait a second. Ash, does the mage that you learned your spells from live in town?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about mage, but I guess so. Yeah.
Who is this gentleman or lady?
Well, I mean, like, I got my lessons from Nettie, but I don't know if she knows really anything.
The old lady.
Yeah, the old lady. Yeah. She's really nice.
Do you know where Nettie, where we could find this Nettie?
Yeah, I mean, she's got a house over on the south side of town.
Seebo, do you know one of the last people who Joan talked to yesterday was?
Yes, that old lady.
I'm starting to smell something fishy.
As am I.
And
In fact, I smell peppermint.
so we're gonna take a walk over to Nettie's house.
Okay.
Dracarys,
Are you gonna go see Joan before
That's
you
me.
go over?
Let him rot.
All right.
Yeah.
Hang on. Go ahead and say that again, so I'm not talking over him.
Dracarys,
Yeah.
how do you feel about terrorizing old ladies?
Well, they never done me any old favors.
What if?
Well, great, because personally, I have a weird thing about it. So,
Well, I don't have a thing against witches. What about witches?
well,
or
if
hags?
she becomes a witch, in that case,
I have a feeling that she is a witch. Do you think that we should drop by the jail to tell Joan of what we've come up with?
no. The sheriff,
It's the law.
the sheriff can't be trusted, though. I mean, he simply he wouldn't believe anything we have to say. In fact, I feel as though he'd encourage against it.
All right. Well, I guess we're off to terrorize a witch.
Yeah.
I have anything against that.
So we're off to Nettie's house.
Okay. You're not gonna say anything to Joan?
Fuck
No.
Joan, bro.
Okay.
We're saving his ass right now.
Okay, so you go over to Nettie's house.
Only by getting evidence. And we knock upon her door. Rap, rap, rap.
Okay. After a few seconds, the door opens, and she says, "Oh, hello! It's so nice to see you again."
Can I do a Arcana check?
Sure, go ahead.
That's an 18.
Okay. Are you Arcana checking her?
Yeah.
Okay. You sense, like, a little bit of magic coming off of her. I'll give you, with an 18, I'll give you, like, she doesn't have a crazy amount coming off of her.
Well, hello there.
Hello, I'm so happy to see you. Have you made any progress in your investigation?
Yeah, actually, we were wondering if we could come in for a cup of tea and just have a chat. Things have been a little
Stressful.
A little stressful, and we just need to vent a little bit. You were so nice to Joan, and we just wanted to have a nice chat with you. I bet you don't get many visitors out here, do you?
Oh, I mean, I stay involved in the community. I go to bingo night. But yeah, it's been a little bit since somebody came to visit my house. Yes, come in. I'll put a kettle on. So you walk in. She goes into the kitchen and puts a kettle on. There's a table with a few chairs around it in this main room.
Can I Arcana check the house now?
Okay.
Oh my god, I'm rolling so good tonight. It's another 18.
Okay. Yeah. You sense that there is, like, more magic energy inside the house. Specifically, there's a closed door on the other side of the room, and you sense that there's some magic energy coming out of there.
Seebo, I'm getting some bad juju in here. I will distract that room over there. You take a look in there, all right?
Wait, don't cause a scene. Just talk to the old lady.
No. I'm not going to cause a scene. I am going to do my job and entertain.
Very well, very well.
All right, so she comes back quickly. She's got a tea kettle and several cups. What are you all doing?
I'm doing... Wait, don't I have captivating performance? Enthralling performance.
Okay.
I'm going to use my enthralling performance to try to keep her attention on me so that Seebo can do what Seebo do.
Okay, go ahead. I guess go ahead and roll. Dracarys, what are you doing?
Perception. I don't know, a performance check.
Dancing.
You're gonna line dance?
Yeah.
Oh, for a performance check, that's a 24.
Okay. Seebo, what are you doing?
Well, Seebo was going to ask where the bathroom was, and then he was going to enter the Shadow Realm, and then take a little peeksy-weeksy in that room.
Okay, go ahead and roleplay that real quick.
Excuse me, I have to use the bathroom. Do you have somewhere nearby?
Oh yes, of course. Just go around that corner there, and there's a room right there.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Nettie, have you heard this one before? And he takes out his lyre and starts playing.
Okay, Dracarys, roll your we'll do a performance check on that.
That's a nat 20.
Holy shit!
We are enthralling.
All right.
Dracarys don't do much well, but there's one thing he'd do damn good, and that's line dancing.
Dracarys
and killing
line
dragons.
dances like no one has line danced before. The steps are crisp and perfect. They
inspire others to move.
He is absolutely captivating. He is up there, he's dancing around. At one point he grabs Nettie and he's got her dancing alongside of him, who is looking particularly spry for her age, next to Dracarys, just like with this incredible dancing ability as Ryder strums on his lyre here.
Damn, a line dance and Joan can't be there.
Seebo, you went into the Shadow Realm?
Yeah, as he kind of walks around the corner, he's going to peer through the monocle and enter into the Shadow Realm and make his way. Now that he's far less easily seen, he's going to walk over to that door that Ryder pointed out to him.
Okay.
And is there any kind of crack? Is there a keyhole?
There is a keyhole.
He's going to slip through the keyhole.
Okay. You slip through the keyhole and you see a room that seems fairly open. There's shelves lining it with all kinds of various containers and whatnot on the shelves. Being in the Shadow Realm, you can't tell exactly what these containers are. And in the center of the room is a large object that you assume seems to be kind of metal, and there's something bubbling in it. But again, being in the Shadow Realm, you can't tell what exactly it is.
Alright, I guess Seebo will pop out to investigate.
Okay, so you pop out of the Shadow Realm. Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Roll them bones. 19.
Okay. You find a cauldron. All along the walls are various implements of conjuration, various materials and things of that nature. And inside the cauldron, as you sort of look closer, bubbling and sort of like being spun around in this boiling liquid are a collection of slugs about 3 inches long.
That's appetizing. I guess we have a witch on our hands. Seebo is going to walk to the door and open the door as quietly and as unnoticeably as he can and try to just slip back into the living room.
Okay.
While they still are performing. Hopefully.
You're in luck because Dracarys has just spun Nettie in a spin on this line dance, and she does not see you exit the room.
Alright, and Seebo's going to walk over to the group, and he's going to cast a sleep spell on Nettie.
Okay. Does she have to roll against that, or just just happen?
Roll 5d8. Total is how many hit points of creature this spell can affect. So.
It looks like sleep is an area of effect spell, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a powder that he's, like, blowing right at her.
Yeah.
So, me and Dracarys have to resist it.
So,
well, if you guys have more than 21 hit points, and she has less than or equal to that number of hit points, she is affected and you're not.
Well, I do not. I have more than one. I have more than the allowed or than the amount that you were talking about. Yes. Same.
Okay.
I don't know how many hit points she has.
Nettie falls asleep.
Alright.
So can I walk into that room and do an investigation check and just look around real quick to see if... Because I don't want to take her in if she's just cooking dinner.
Well, I guess I'm going to talk to Seebo, because he just walked out and blew some powder.
Seebo, is she cooking dinner in there, or...
She's a witch.
She's a witch?
I'm pretty sure she's a witch.
Can I just... I don't want to...
After you, sir.
All right.
After you.
And he's going to walk in there and do... Would it be an investigation check or another arcana check to see if all this stuff is for a magical nature?
Do an arcana check.
Arcana checks all day, my dude. Oh, and that's a 22.
Bada bing, bada bing.
Yeah, there's a lot of witchy shit in here.
Oh, yep. She's definitely a witch. Yep. Would you like to call, or would you like to take her in, and we will, I guess, let's get our sheriff out here, yeah?
Well, do you know how one would create some kind of a potion or a spell to control someone? Does it look like she has the right, the necessary ingredients?
Do I roll for that? Or does my 22 let me know that?
She does not have the materials to do any kind of a dominate person or anything like that.
See, she is definitely a witch, there's no doubt to that, but there isn't enough here for a dominate person. But I wonder if those slugs if she could take one of those slugs and it go into somebody and control them that way.
I mean, it's possible. I don't really know. I've never heard of something like that, but...
Oh, this is hard.
Dracarys, do you have any thoughts?
Not particularly.
Well, I mean, I guess we should at least inform the sheriff that he has a witch living in the town and see what we can learn from there. Perhaps we could go back to the market and see if we can look at the inventory.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, we weren't hired on as witch hunters, though, so this is kind of... Maybe we can wring out a little more money.
Maybe.
Yeah, that might be because they weren't looking for the witch.
Are you saying they already knew?
Just maybe it was 2 weeks and it was somebody in their midst.
Okay, so what's your plan here, guys? You got an unconscious woman. You just found a cauldron.
Are we just gonna leave her here?
Tie her up and take her with us. Go back to the sheriff's station.
Okay, so you tie her up.
But very nicely. and very
Yeah.
delicately as to not hurt her.
Yeah.
Just to restrain her.
Okay. You take her with you, and you're heading back to the sheriff's station.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you bust in the front door. Seebo, would you like to do your typical door-busting routine?
No, he's just walking in.
Okay. So you push the door in, and the sheriff says,
What's going on here? Why do you have Nettie tied up?
Well, did you know that Nettie's a witch?
Oh, wait, I mean, I knew she had a little bit of magic, but come on now.
She has a cauldron filled with slugs and all the ingredients that a witch would have, man.
That just sounds like an odd hobby.
Oh, hello, Joan.
Hello.
We're trying to find the real killer, prove your innocence.
I thought you'd just plumb forgotten about me.
Oh, well, that's kind of harsh, but...
Well, I mean, I've been here for how long?
Like
Nobody came and visited me?
an hour.
Oh, so why you got that lady tied up?
I just told you she's a witch.
Have you inquired with her and, interrogated?
Absolutely.
Interrogated an old woman? Of course not.
Well, so you found suspicion that she's a witch, but didn't ask her what she has all that stuff for to try and corroborate.
Well,
Bunch of great detectives you are.
hey, this is not my desired, job of choice.
I seriously thought that I was going to be the one put in jail first, so...
Yeah. Lucky you.
Anyways, yeah, I don't know, man. We found her. We suspected that perhaps she was a witch, and she's a witch.
What does that have to do with me killing the young lady in the alley?
Well, you see, Joan, we do believe that you were put under some kind of mind control spell.
Impossible. I can't be charmed. At least not easily.
So what you're saying is you just killed her of your own free will?
I don't know. I don't recall any killing of anybody.
maybe somebody should investigate Joan.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea, huh?
Can I do
You dunces.
Can I do an Arcana check on Joan, then?
Yeah, why don't you do an Arcana check on Joan?
Eat my ass. Fucking smug motherfucker. That's a 15.
Okay, you do an Arcana check on Joan, and aside from his normal magical aura, you sense that there is a certain amount of sort of extra magical energy that is coming out of the area near his right ear.
Joan, can I see your right ear?
I mean, you can try, but there's kind of a jail cell bars between us.
Officer, can you restrain Joan while I...
It's Sheriff.
Sheriff,
What do
sorry.
you want with him?
What?
He has something in his right... He has something in his right ear that I'm...
Restrain? What in my right ear? Jonah's gonna fish around in his ear.
Okay. I guess do an investigation check, Joan.
in his own ear.
Because there's so much ear to look through.
There's so much wax.
That's 23.
Okay. Joan, you stick your finger in your ear and kind of, like, sort of wiggle it around, and you, just at the very tip of your ear, you feel something slimy.
There's something... Do not like that feeling. There's something there.
Joan, come here. Joan, come here. Let me take it out for you.
Yes, take it out.
Listen, what are you doing here?
And I do an investigation check on his ear, I guess.
Okay.
While he puts it towards the
Yeah,
bars.
I guess he just steps with his ear between the bars.
Oh, buddy, I am rolling like a madman. 16.
Okay. You look, as Joan presses the side of his head up against the bars, you look into his ear, and you see something interesting in his ear. However, you feel like you can't quite get it out. You need something, maybe some sort of metal instrument to pull it out.
Seebo, could you pull the foreign object out of Joan's ear? I don't have the right instrumentation for it, and I do believe you have something like that in your thieves' kit.
Yeah. Just stand right there.
A thieves' kit.
And
You
Seebo,
some kind of criminal boy?
Seebo's going to mount Ryder, just like walk up him and sit on his shoulders so that he's at Joan's ear level.
Oh, that's okay. I will just vibe with this. This is fine.
This is fine. This is fine.
Well, that makes one of us vibing with this.
And Seebo's gonna pull out a tweezer-looking tool and then like a metal rod, kind of like a shimmy bar that he would use on a lock, and gets in there. I don't know. Do I just roll sleight of hand?
Go ahead and roll sleight of hand.
17.
Okay. You use these tools and wiggle around in Joan's ear for a minute, and there's a little bit of pain in Joan's ear. And then, with a loud yell, Joan slumps to the ground as you pull out about a 3-foot long slug out of Joan's ear.
3 foot.
I'm sorry.
This thing got nothing between
Shit.
3 inch.
With a loud yell, you pull out about a 3-inch slug from Joan's ear.
All right. Now she done it.
Yeah, very much so. Sheriff, we found slugs like these at her home. And if you were to go there to look and see, you would find them there. This is your culprit.
Dracarys, that's a 10 against AC.
Yeah, it doesn't hit.
Nettie has suddenly transformed somewhat, perhaps through an alter self spell, and has grown long claws and attempts to swipe at Dracarys, but misses by a good deal.
The witch is awake!
Holy cow. I'm just gonna roll Eldritch Blast.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an Eldritch Blast here.
Wow. That is a 23.
Okay, yeah, that hits.
I can just imagine her just like ragdoll physics, like just flying right against the wall.
6 plus 7, so 13 plus 4, so 17.
Okay. Dracarys, do a strength check for me.
That's 12.
Okay. Dracarys, as Nettie swings at you and misses, you are able to get 2 solid hands on her and shove her away from you, just as Ryder throws an Eldritch Blast, which just completely obliterates her, leaving just a
red mist,
sort of a red mist stain floating through the sheriff's office.
Now that was disturbing.
That was fucking awesome. I've never done that before. I didn't even think I could do that.
Well, Sheriff, you shouldn't be having any more murders, and I think you can let our friend go.
I think we're gonna get locked up.
The sheriff slowly looks at all of you, and then without saying a word, he walks over and unlocks Joan's cell and slowly pulls it open, letting you all sort of regroup together on one end of the room. He looks you up and down, and then he points at you, Seebo, and he goes,
I'm gonna accept that you all have solved this mystery, but I better not see you smoking any of that grass in my town anymore.
Well, sir, I wouldn't never do that. I would never. Scout's honor.
Get
Promise.
Out. Are we gonna get paid, or... Oh, I shouldn't press my luck. Tally-ho, gentlemen, shall we?
Payment's a job well done, and I won't say anything about the blood stain on the floor.
Oh, yeah. And before we leave, I know you want us gone, but you should probably take care of that cauldron full of slugs in the back room at Nettie's house. It would be a shame if those got out and wreaked some kind of havoc. Just burn them, probably.
Take care of the little vomit mess I made on the jail cell floor.
Out of my town.
Oh, okay. Tally-ho, gentlemen, shall we?
No further word needed.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Have a pleasant day, sir.
and the 4 of you hike out of town with the satisfaction of a job well done and Your belly's about to be full of a delicious honey-baked ham.
With a crackling green necromantic combust, the witch has been vanquished, her bones turned to dust. Our party of 4 continues their tour. What other strange horrors will they need endure?